Hey YouTube, Swanton007 here to do another pay-per-view review, and today we have Armageddon 2008, last pay-per-view of the year, and probably my most remembered pay-per-view since I started watching wrestling. And we'll get straight into it. Matt Hardy versus Vladimir Kozlov. Alright match, fairly entertaining. Matt Hardy actually did very well against Vladimir and actually kind of looked like he could have got a win over him, but didn't in the end, and Kozlov won somehow. 2.25 stars. Next match, number one contenders match for the IC Championship, Rey Mysterio versus CM Punk. Great match. They had a great job, some great wrestling moves. CM Punk came out the win after breaking Rey's nose with a GTS, but it was a fantastic match and they did a great job. Rey did an awesome moonsault off the top rope onto a standing CM Punk, and they had some great counter wrestling, just great stuff. CM Punk becomes the number one contender for the IC Championship, 3.5 stars. Then we got a Belfast Brawl, Finlay versus Mark Henry. Pretty good match. No, not a great match. It was good for what it was. I was expecting a lot less, but it was fun. It was entertaining to watch. But that's not what you want in wrestling. So overall, I've given it 2.5 stars. Finlay came out the win after hitting Mark Henry with a shillelagh, but they did some great stuff with the rubbish bins, and really did a top job entertaining the crowd and the people at home. I reckon this would have been a top match to watch live. Next match, Batista versus Randy Orton. It was what it was. Batista came out with the win, but Batista goes out injured a couple weeks later, gets punted by Randy Orton. Batista got injured at SummerSlam, and they were just holding it off, and he was eventually forced to give in and go and get the surgery done. But this match, Batista went over. They obviously weren't expecting Batista to be injured, so excuse me. So they let Batista win with the Batista bomb. Legacy got ejected fairly early. Cody Rhodes and Manu. 2.75 stars. Next match, the Santa's Helpers match. Jillian Hall, Maryse, Natalya and Victoria versus Kelly, Maria, Michelle McCool, and Mickie James. Obviously, the faces come out with the win here. I cannot remember. I think Michelle McCool came out with the win here. Starting to turn her heel here, 1 star. Match number 2 for 6, John Cena versus Chris Jericho. This was some good stuff. They finished amazingly. They did some great counter wrestling right at the end. John Cena went for FU. Chris Jericho lands turnaround into a code breaker. Chris Jericho didn't quite get the pin, and then John Cena out of nowhere hits the FU. But still great wrestling match. Not great, it was a good ending, but they did a good job with these two in their rivalry. 3.5 stars. John Cena came out with a win, retaining the World Heavyweight Championship. Match, the last match of the night, triple threat match for the WWE Championship. Edge versus Jeff Hardy versus Triple H. Now, this is probably my favourite match of all time. It's definitely not the best match of all time, star rating wise or anything like that, but it's one of my favourite matches of all time because of it was like the third pay-per-view I'd ever watched or something. I was a huge fan of Jeff Hardy, and because of that, it made this a top match. There was a part in it, Edge hit this amazing spear running off 2 tables and hitting a jumping spear through another table. That was just my most favourite spot, one of my favourite spots of all time in watching wrestling. Jeff Hardy came out with a win after Triple H hit a pedigree, was pinning Edge, and then Jeff Hardy's hit the swanton on Edge, hitting Triple H's head. Triple H rolls out of the ring. Jeff Hardy pins Edge. Great stuff. Love the match. Jeff Hardy won, and it was an absolute outstanding moment. 4 stars for that one. Overall, I'm going to give the pay-per-view a 7.5 out of 10. Just because there were 2 good matches and 1 pretty good match. And, that really wasn't enough. The rest of the pay-per-view really wasn't that great. And if one more match had have had 3 stars, if Batista, Randy Orton had got 3.5. You know, may have boosted up to an 8, but it just didn't quite get that for me. So overall, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. I'm a Swanton, guys. Comment, like, and subscribe. Check out my other videos as well. Thank you for listening. See ya.